It was Easter morning. Sunlight, soft as whipped butter, gently spilled through the kitchen window, tender as a quiet whisper. I had risen early. The kitchen was filled with the scent of scones and carrot cake, still warm from the oven. I carefully placed the eggs we had painted the night before into a woven basket. A little girl from the neighborhood had helped me decorate them, some in bright sky blue, some dusted with gold glitter, and one with a crooked pair of bunny ears that looked like it was laughing. Carrying the basket, I walked into the garden, humming a little tune as I went. I tucked the eggs between flower bushes, under tree roots, in the cracks between stepping stones. One special egg I placed on the old bench beneath the grape arbor, the best place to stumble upon a surprise. The breeze still held a hint of early spring chill, but the air smelled of fresh grass and lemon leaves. After hiding the last egg, I returned to the kitchen to make tea, wondering if the garden might echo with more laughter today, just like it did last year. I had just taken the teapot off the stove when I heard footsteps coming down the stairs. It was Lily and Josh. She wore a soft pink dress, her hair still damp, fresh from the shower. Josh had his camera in one hand and a yawn in the other, still not fully awake. "You're up early," I smiled, setting 2 teacups on the sunlit table. "We were woken up by the smell of cake," Lily said as she sat down. "This is what a happy morning feels like." I brought out a basket of just-baked scones and said, with mock seriousness, "Do you know what day it is?" Josh glanced at the sky, then back at me. "Don't tell me. You've planned an Easter egg hunt." I winked and pulled 2 small bamboo baskets from behind the counter. "There are eggs hidden in the garden. Some have candies, others have little messages. You don't have to look for them, but rumor has it, the one that says 'for love brings good luck.'" They exchanged a glance, lit up like children discovering snow for the first time, and jumped to their feet. Lily slipped on her jacket, laughing. "My first ever Easter egg hunt, let's go." With their little baskets in hand, they wandered into the garden, 2 grown children, wide-eyed with delight. Lily paused beside the lemon balm, bent down and laughed. "Here's one. A blue egg with a sun wearing sunglasses." She dropped it into her basket and looked around, already hunting for the next. Josh stood under the grape arbor and picked up a small golden egg. A slip of paper peeked out from inside. "For laughter shared under leaves," he read aloud, then looked over and smiled at me. "Did you write this?" I called back from the kitchen door. "Maybe I did. Or maybe the spring breeze wrote it for you." He turned to Lily and said something in a quiet voice. She laughed, gave him a playful nudge, and they continued deeper into the garden. Sunlight filtered through the lemon tree branches, scattering golden flecks on the grass like hidden blessings waiting to be found. They didn't rush to collect every egg. Instead, they strolled, chatted, and lingered, letting the game become a slow, wandering conversation. Near a patch of rosemary, Lily opened a purple egg and found only a note inside. "May you grow like a seed, quietly and with purpose." She held the paper for a few seconds, then gave a small, thoughtful nod. In that moment, I realized it wasn't the eggs that mattered. It was the gentle exchange of thoughtfulness during the search. That was what Easter was truly about. Around noon, just as I was about to carry out the tea and cake, I heard the soft creak of the iron gate. I looked up. It was Elena, dressed in her deep green knit cardigan, holding a small jar of homemade orange peel marmalade. "I thought you wouldn't say no to something sweet today," she said with a warm smile, handing me the jar. And I felt like sitting for a while. Elena lived down the street. Her husband had passed years ago, and her children had long since moved to other states. She didn't visit often, but when she did, it was always at the right moment. She settled onto the old bench beneath the grape arbor, and watched as Lily and Josh laughed in the distance, still searching for hidden eggs beneath the lemon tree. "I used to love Easter as a child," she said, her eyes following their movement. "Not because of the eggs, but because someone always pretended to be mad they couldn't find one. Then everyone would laugh." I poured her a cup of hot tea. Her fingers felt cool as she accepted it. "You came today because you wanted some company?" I asked gently. She paused for a moment, then answered quietly, "Not exactly. I just didn't want the day to feel quite so much like I was alone." I nodded, saying nothing more. I simply slid a still warm scone toward her on the table. Sunlight touched her silver hair as it fell softly over her shoulder. In her gaze, I saw something quietly beautiful, perhaps an old memory, or a love that never needed to be spoken aloud. As lunchtime approached, the garden grew livelier. Little Leo from next door came skipping in, followed by his mother and a few more neighbors, carrying homemade lemon pie, roasted squash, and a pitcher of chilled herbal tea. I set the long table under the grape arbor, the tablecloth lifting slightly in the breeze like it, too, was celebrating something. The children dashed around the garden, laughing and yelling. In no time, they had found the remaining eggs. One had been tucked behind a rock near the bird bath. Leo lifted it high and shouted, "I found the super egg!" as if he'd discovered the secret to happiness itself. Lily and Josh joined us with plates in hand, looking more relaxed than they had when they arrived, like they'd left all their travel fatigue in the petals and leaves around them. Elena sat quietly on the bench, eating a small slice of lemon pie. Sunlight filtered through the arbor above her, casting soft patterns on her silver hair like a blessing. I sat at the edge of the table, just watching. And suddenly I felt it. This place wasn't only a resting spot for travelers. It was also a gentle thread that tied neighbors together, even if we rarely said so out loud. Each year, on Easter, or the harvest picnic, or Christmas morning tea, we came together. Not for ceremony, but for the quiet reassurance that we were not alone. Dusk came earlier than I expected. The neighbors said their goodbyes, the children's footsteps fading down the lane. Only a few petals remained on the tablecloth, swaying gently in the breeze like the last notes of a song. Lily and Josh mentioned they were heading to the little bookstore in town. Josh teased that he wanted to find a children's story about magical Easter eggs. After tidying up the kitchen, I took one last walk through the garden. On the bench beneath the grape arbor, I spotted one egg we had missed. It was pale lavender, speckled with tiny gold stars. I picked it up and gently shook it. Something moved inside with a faint rattle. I didn't open it. Instead, I slipped it into my pocket, like tucking away a late-arriving wish. Back inside, I made a cup of mint tea and sat by the window, watching the sky darken by degrees. The clouds in the distance were tinted with apricot and rose, like sleeping cotton candy resting above the hills. Sometimes I wonder, do moments like these exist because we create them? Or are they always there, waiting patiently in the quiet folds of life, hoping we'll pause long enough to notice? That lavender egg now sits on my bookshelf, beside a small lamp and a half-filled notebook. Guests will come and go. Seasons will keep turning. But I believe as long as someone somewhere is willing to bend down and search for a hidden egg in the grass on a spring morning, days like this will never truly disappear. That's today's story from The Little Stay. Thank you for listening, and we hope it brought a little calm to your day. A new story begins soon. Come back and see who arrives next.